Thanks to be to God for who He is, to my pastor and to these other ministers. It's good to be in the house tonight, where prayers can be heard and God's mercy can be found. Just for a few moments, Luke, the 23rd chapter, and the 46th verse, and it reads as follows. And when Jesus had cried with a loud voice, he said, Father, into thy hand I commend my spirit. And having said this, he gave up the ghost. Just for a few moments as a theme, there are good hands to call on. There are some good hands to call on. This text said, Jesus said, Father, into thy hand. Jesus is calling on his Father's hand. So church, we can call on our Father's hand. Well, who is the Father? The one who created the heavens and the earth. God the Father. Because I'm so glad there are hands I can call on. Oh yeah, if I'm sick, I can call on his healing hand. Oh yeah, if I'm lost, I can call on his saving hand. Oh yeah, if I need love, I can call on his loving hand. Oh yeah, when you don't have money in your pocket, you can call on his giving hand. Oh yeah, if you need a change in your life, you can call on his unchanging hand. We used to sing a song, Hold to his hand. God's unchanging hand. There is power in God's hands. We used to sing a song coming up, he got the whole world in his hand. So my sisters and my brothers, you better be careful who hands you call on. Because everybody's hands is not good to call on. Ain't I right about it? I'm so glad Jesus didn't call on all states. That's the good hands, people. I'm so glad he didn't call on AARP. That's the insurance for if you're 50 or over. Jesus did not call on Isaiah. He did not call on Jeremiah's hand. He did not call on Daniel's hand. He did not call on Moses' hand. I'm so glad he didn't call on his insurance, but he called on his assurance. But he called on his Father's hand. And it goes on to say, I commit my spirit. The word commit is translated meaning entrusting someone else's care to someone else. That's good news to know that when this old body go back to the grave, I'm so glad when death comes in my room, our soul go back to the Father, because the Bible said we are absent from the body but present with the Lord. That is good news. But you need the same spirit as Christ. What is that spirit? It's love, peace, and forgiveness. Because he showed love for me on the cross. He showed peace to the thief that was crucified, saying, this day thou shalt be with me in paradise. He showed the spirit of forgiveness when he says, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. But I just stopped by to say, Jesus says his spirit, that he's telling me that his spirit is back with the Father's hand. And then he gave up the ghost. But the story didn't end there. It was at the cross. It was at the cross where I first saw the light. And the burdens of this heart roll away. It was there by faith I received my sight. And right now I am happy all the day. I'm so glad they took Jesus to a hill called Calvary. They put nails in his hand. They put nails in his feet. But I'm so glad they didn't know what they were doing. When they lift my Jesus up, he said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. I'm so glad they placed him in his side until blood and water came streaming down. I'm so glad they put his head in the locks of his shoulder. And I know he died. He died for your sins and for my sins. They took it to old Joe Barrett tomb. My grandpa used to say, they put a rock in a rock. They put a rock all around that rock. But in that rock was Jesus. Jesus, my rock in the weary land. Jesus, my shelter in the time of a storm. But I'm so glad he stayed there all Friday night. He stayed there all Saturday morning. He stayed there all Saturday evening. He stayed there all Saturday night. But early, one Sunday morning, my rock in the weary land, my shelter in the time of the storm, he got up with all power in his hand. And you glad about it? He glad about it? He walks with me. He talks with me. He tells me I'm his own. I'm so glad he lives. He lives within my soul. I'm so glad I got a mother over there. I got a grandma over there. But I want to see Jesus. 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 If anybody here that love my Jesus, is there anybody here that loves the Lord? Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. Will you meet me there? Some glad morning. Witness, life is over.